What if you were diagnosed with a debilitating disease that forced you to reevaluate everything in your life, and then you just decided to share it with the world? We deep dive in this episode, and I think that you're going to really, really love it. Welcome to the Women of YouTube podcast. This podcast is hosted by me, Desiree Martinez. Every week, I'm going to be showing up in your earbuds to inspire you on your YouTube journey with killer interviews with women YouTube creators, deep dives into the inner workings of how YouTube works, and discussing all the things about YouTube culture and the impact it is having on our world. This podcast is brought to you in partnership with vidIQ, where they help you maximize your video's YouTube reach by studying titles, descriptions, tags, and playlists relevant to your subject matter, while also studying your competitors to help you know exactly what you should be doing for your YouTube growth. So if you're a female creator looking to grow your channel, level up your content, and learn from the best women creators on the platform to get you on your way to YouTube success and future-proofing your income, this is the perfect place for you. Let's do this. What's up, ladies? Welcome to episode of the Women of YouTube podcast. I am so excited to be up in your earbuds today. Little bit of shop before we dive into this episode. So I did a video live in the Women of YouTube Facebook group, but if you have not seen it, I'm gonna update you here. So I will be rebranding the Women of YouTube podcast into the Women of Video podcast. There's a couple of reasons into it. First and foremost, it's a legal reason. Using YouTube as a part of this podcast name is against a lot of trademark issues, and you should never build your brand based on like someone else's name, because it can be a whole issue, like a whole legal issue, a whole problem. And as this podcast continues to grow in popularity and revenue and all this stuff, I needed to make sure that we protected this. And so I made the decision to rebrand it. But this works in our favor for a couple of different reasons. That when I started this podcast in 2019, like YouTube was the place for video. Like there was some live streaming, there was some video on social, but it had not reached the level that it is now, because this was like pre-COVID and people did things in person and stuff. And then COVID happened and like TikTok blew up and live streaming blew up and all of the social networks were like, this is what you have to do now. And I think that we are potentially limiting ourselves by only talking about YouTube, because there's other platforms where people and women are having monumental success. And so I want us to have a place to talk about that and a space to talk about that. And so we'll be rebranding and we're going to be becoming the Women of Video. This also pairs with the conference that I'll be hosting in the start of 2023 and end of February, early March. It's going to be the Women of Video podcast. It's going to be dedicated to bringing women together to learn, inspire, and grow together as creators for women by women. We're going to be having 36 sessions, some amazing keynote speakers, and it's going to be a way for you to completely immersed in this world. And to bonus it, like we are taking into account the majority of issues that women face when it comes to coming to events. And the two biggest ones being I have children and childcare is an issue, and the cost is something that I have a hard time with. And that is why we are trying to arrange for childcare and also a way to minimize the cost on this event by putting it onto our sponsors and including as much as we can in the ticket. And my main goal is that it covers the event and your food, so you don't have to worry about eating for the entire time. So all you have to do is get your butt to Hot Atlanta and get a hotel. And the event will be at a hotel, so we're going to have a discount on that. And we'll be able to arrange within the community, like if you're looking for a roommate situation, to make that work. So that is what is happening with the Women of Video. There's a lot of other fun things on the horizon for our group and for this podcast and for this movement, honestly, essentially. And so like just stay tuned for that, and you're gonna love it. I am so excited how this is going to unfold, so just stay tuned. So I teased y'all in the beginning, or talking about like what happens if like you got a diagnosis. So our guest today explains what happened to her with her diagnosis and how she's decided to go on this journey. And it is so moving, but also so life-changing. She literally like sped up so many things in her life so that she would be able to enjoy what she had in front of her and function the way she wants and still leave a legacy, something for herself. And it was so important for her to share it and then be a beacon for hope and for inspiration and for change with where she is. I don't want to tease or spoil it at all. So without further ado, let's go dive into this episode. Okay. I'm very excited to talk with you today, Joshuanette, and I'm excited that with your story, your journey, and also we have a little friend joining us as well for our interview today with your son in the background, right?
Yes.
We wouldn't be the Women of YouTube podcast if there just weren't kids that popped in from time to time. So we're here for it. All right. So Joshuanette, tell us why YouTube.
So just for everybody's information, my name is Joshuanette and I'm from Antigua and Bermuda. My parents wanted a boy, so they would have named him Joshua. Ironically, my son, I'm gonna say hi to the camera. Say hi. His second name is Joshua because why not? But I am doing YouTube because when I was 24, the doctors diagnosed me with osteoarthritis. The cartilage in my knees are fading. So normally what happens, this is your knees and there's some cartilage in the middle there. For me, it's fading. And that started when I was 24. I'm 27 now. So I'm on a journey of documenting my life.
Mm-hmm.
It is said that we have 365 beaches on island. So I'm looking for all 365 beaches. I am hiking and I'm doing everything that I can possibly do now that I have the time and the energy to do it. Just in case when I get older, I don't actually have the ability to move around as much.
Okay, so tell us, what is it about osteoporosis that will be a struggle for you as you continue to get older?
So according to studies, women are more likely to get osteoarthritis than men. So that's a fun fact because it's just genetics. That's how we are made up. Athletes will get osteoarthritis, and arthritis happens obviously with wear and tear of your joints. But as a young person, when I did an MRI showing signs of arthritis at 24, which is crazy because I should be enjoying my best life at this point, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't work out that way. So as you progress, it gets worse. There's currently no cure for osteoarthritis. So you just have to live with it. Take some pain meds. They recommend swimming. They recommend low impact exercise to really prolong the longevity of your life.
All right. So what is it about this diagnosis that made you want to document the journey and share it on YouTube? Because some people would think that, well, just go live your life. Don't let this add this extra layer of a quote unquote complication, to it. So why share this journey? Why was this important to you?
I have always documented my life. So I'm a lover of a picture. I'm a lover of videos. I've always been documenting. I've been hiking for years. And I figured if I'm going to have arthritis and the doctor said to go to the beach, why not go to all 365 beaches? Mm-hmm. If I'm going to have to lose some weight, because of another thing with arthritis is keeping your weight in check, I'm going to go to hike and I'm going to document it and I'm going to share it with the world. And I also want to be one of those voices that says that having a disability does not define you. Life is going to be whatever you make it. So I have arthritis and I get up every day and have two choices: nag about it or make the best of it. And I'm making the best of it and I'm sharing my journey to encourage others to just live your best life. Because literally there are many things that we can control. And we can't control this narrative, so we just have to live our best lives.
Okay, so when you said something interesting that talked about like with the weight loss and stuff, obviously having a baby can add extra wear and tear to your body. I mean, that's just motherhood. Like, we know just having a baby does all of the things to your body. Like, I've had 2 C-sections and like my whole body does not function the same way at all. And of course I cry way more than I ever have ever, which is ridiculous. But with osteoarthritis, how did that affect being pregnant and having your son?
Actually, I had my son because I had arthritis. Ironically, when I went to the doctor, they said, if at 26 at the time, my knees were already cranking out, there was a possibility that when I get older, my body will not be able to carry the weight. So my other half and I, we discussed trying to get pregnant at the end of last year because I'm a super planner. I'll have to hide my face when I say this because it sounds a little creepy. My birthday is in May. His birthday is in June. So I wanted the baby to be born in July.
Okay.
So we have a triple birthday happening. So we discussed getting pregnant a bit earlier because at this time I would be at my fittest. I would be able to lose the weight because I gained 50 pounds when I was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here trying to lose this weight. It was definitely harder because I weighed more. So to
Yeah.
get up and things were more difficult. The doctor recommended that I get not bed rest, but I could not have done as much as I used to do. I
Yeah.
had to stop hiking. I had to stop doing a lot of things because they were just afraid that something could happen on one of these long hikes. And normally we hike for like 2 to 3 hours. So they were like, maybe you should just quit hiking and just do shorter walks.
Yeah.
And now that he's born, I am here trying to lose all of this additional weight.
And that is a challenge. Like I know as a woman, like once I had my first kid at 20, I was about to turn 29, and then I had my second one at 30, and I had them back to back because I'm crazy. But I just wanted to get it done with. I'm really honest. I just wanted to get it done. And our bodies just do all these crazy things. Like some women that choose to breastfeed, they're able to lose more calories because they breastfeed, or the opposite happens. Like they gain more weight because they're eating more food because their body needs them to have that energy, and it just goes in all these places and all these hormonal things, and then losing the weight afterwards can take a really long time. And sometimes we have to accept that we're not ever gonna get our bodies back. And I think that what you're doing is like you're in this very intense journey because you made this commitment with having a child because of your health and wanting to be able to have your beautiful baby, and then having to like correct your body, get it done with, so that you had time to get your body in check so that you can continue to live your life. And that's crazy. Look, I'm really sorry to interrupt, but did you know that YouTube is the world's second biggest search engine? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but that's why every creator truly needs to be using vidIQ to grow their YouTube channel. vidIQ's tech helps you tailor your video ideas to match what people are searching for right now on YouTube. And once you're ready to upload, well, it starts optimizing and getting you all the details that you need to make sure your videos are getting noticed. If you really want to dive in more and get started for free, please head over to thewomenofyoutube.com/vidIQ to get started on this YouTube channel changing tool that is going to make things so much easier for you. All right, let's get back to it. So have you been talking about this journey and sharing this journey on your YouTube channel as well?
So I shared one video about my pregnancy. I have like maybe 2 videos on my channel. I haven't really spoken about it because also I would say to people before I had my son, and I still believe in what I believe that children are social, economic, financial, and physical burdens. I don't think that society allows women to be like, I really didn't want children, because they are not as happy and as joyful as people have it. That's a personal opinion. Mm-hmm. And having a child, I believe that my opinion was right. The only difference is now when I give this speech, I say, you have to be in that place to carry that burden, because you're going to get fatter. You are going to have to spend money on a kid now. So your finances are shifting. You can't socialize as much as you used to. So all of this is shifting, but you have to be in that place where you're willing to accept that shift. And I am in that place where I'm willing to accept that shift. But when I was 24, I wasn't in that place. And this is why a lot of women go through postpartum depression, and a lot of women feel overwhelmed, and babies die and people abandon children, because it is a lot. Your body goes through so much. Like, you didn't have stretch marks on your belly. All of a sudden now your whole belly is now stretched up. Like, you used to be able to be like, okay, I'm going to go out with my friends. You can't anymore. This kid now becomes your life. And those first few days, it's so exhausting. I don't even think people talk about it enough. Like, you don't get sleep. This kid needs to be fed every 2 hours. And if you're not in a good mental place to truly go through that, you go to postpartum depression. And we see depression on the internet, but we don't really experience it. And I will say to anybody, I didn't experience postpartum depression because we spoke about having my son. We wanted him. We were at the place where, we want to have children. We were laughing because we wanted to get pregnant in October, but we were pregnant in January. But we spoke about having children. We were ready to adjust our lives. But a lot of people aren't at that place where they're ready to adjust their lives. And that is why they get depressed. And that's why a lot of children are abused. And I say to some people, I see some people stressed out. I'm like, I know why you're stressed out. I know why you're stressed out. Can you imagine? I was saying to my friend, not being able to afford Pampers, not being able to afford formula, that will stress you out. So you have to be in that place where you're ready to have children, where you have faced some of your childhood traumas, where you're in a good relationship, because having children changes a lot. It changes everything.
No, you're like, I hope that we're not scaring those of you that don't have kids that are maybe our younger demo that's like worth thinking about. I don't know if I want to. Having kids comes with a lot of rewards and benefits for sure. And what's part of, I think, is the hormonal redesign that happens with our body. So we can, but I understand what you said. Even if you are ready, you can still not be ready for what happens to you. Because like for me and my husband, we were ready. I had probably one of those pregnancies with my son where everyone hated me because I had no problems. The only issue I ran into is I'm already a plus size woman, so I had gestational diabetes, but I just basically adjusted my diet and I was fine. And I was tired. I didn't get sick. I didn't get acne. I was one of those like glowing people. But then I gave birth and that changed the game. My son got stuck. We had to do an emergency C-section. My doctors were inept. It was a whole process. And so having a C-section was not on my birth plan at all. But then all of a sudden, all of my guts are sitting on my stomach and they're yanking this kid out of my uterus. And I have to stuff it back in. And like 45 minutes later, they're like, okay, we just did major to your body. We need you to get up and walk. Oh, and we need you to like breastfeed your child. So it was like, that was like it's the only surgery where they cut through 7 layers of organ tissue to get out a kid. It's just a normal thing that we just like do. We have this permanent scar across your stomach. You know, you talked about the tiger stripes that you get with those stretch marks. It's a thing. It is a thing. And I don't want to tell you this to scare you that don't have children, but more like it's important to understand that this is a journey and a process. And I think the fact that you chose to have children, even though you were diagnosed with this that can limit you for them later, and then also almost maybe potentially accelerating your timeline for your life so that you could have a child while you were physically capable is an incredible, I think, dedication to your family and to your son. And I think that that's beautiful. So
it's definitely beautiful. He is I will say to anybody, he is a blessing. I am happy that he's here. We do have some amazing times, but I'm just not going to be one of those people who get on social media. I tell people, don't be fooled. It's not all glitz and glams.
It is not all photo shoots and Instagram filters and matching nurseries. That is for sure.
And matching outfits.
Oh yeah, matching outfits. No, that never happens ever. So, so as a creator and like this journey, like going to all of these beaches and being on these hikes and sharing this journey, like how you're conquering this illness, you know, one video at a time and things like that. What is your plan within this to build out your business for? Like, are you looking for this just to be something fun to share and inspire? Are you hoping to make this additional income for your family? Like, what is your like business financial journey with your channel?
My vision is to eventually get to the place where I create merchandise and I sell them. However, I want to donate the proceeds. I want to donate some of the proceeds back to Disability Society in Antigua and Bermuda and finding a cure for osteoarthritis. I really think that the Disability Society needs funding, and people like myself who are at the place where we can get income, we can definitely provide that additional support. My vision is really to get to the place where eventually the Disability Society on Island has its own credit union where people can go and borrow some money, and we are promoting entrepreneurship. And it starts with me selling a few merchandise and getting that income ball rolling, because I really think we have a lot of entrepreneurs who are disabled. However, we don't have funding because obviously you haven't been working, and there's just so many different factors against you. People like me who are at the place where I'm not stuck in a wheel. I'm not saying that being in a wheelchair is bad, but I have the ability to do a bit more, because back home we do not have a lot of accessibility. Like was traveling, and I was catching the bus in New York, and the bus has a lift where it goes down, it picks up the wheelchair, and then you get to drive into the bus. Back home, we don't have that. So a lot of people who are stuck in wheelchairs do not have the ability to move around. They don't have the same access to jobs just because we're not at that place. We're a third world country. I'm hoping that people like myself who become advocates and voices definitely changes the narrative. Like, having a disability doesn't define you. If you can bake bread, we're going to find a way for you to bake bread.
I love it. That's absolutely fantastic that you have that plan, and sharing with us what you're doing. I mean, I have no words. That's an amazing mission to have, and I hope that you're able to accomplish it. And of course, all of us who are here would love to support you. So make sure you continue to share your journey and include us in it, especially over in our women community that we have, so that we can support you and buy that merch and get you on that journey.
Make and sell your merch with Spreadshop. Always free, always awesome. Why are we so awesome, you might ask? Simply sign up, upload your designs, lay out your products, and shop, and we'll print and ship your order on demand anywhere in the world. We back our service with a 1,000% satisfaction guarantee. You can make and sell shirts, hoodies, hats, mugs, totes, and even stickers. Get started today at spreadshop.com. Always free and always awesome.
Well, since you've been creating for a little while, and you have, I think, what we would consider like a vlog style of content, what do you think it is that creators that want to get into vlogging, like, what is it that they need to know to have success?
I think you need to know how to tell a story. So you need to have an introduction, like a beginning, then you need to have a middle, and then you need to have an end. And you need to be you. I've learned from being on YouTube for just about 2 years, people are going to gravitate to you if they like you. No matter how much we say like, share, and subscribe, if they don't like your content, they don't like your content. You have to create because you want to create, because you have a passion for it and you enjoy it. Because sometimes we do put a lot of work into creating this one video and we think it's going to be a hit video, and then it doesn't hit. I believe that all things happen in time and happens for good. And for now, I believe my channel isn't exploding. We're not at this big place, but I feel like every day I get up and I commit to doing one video, one thing at a time, and it will eventually get to that place. I've learned from going to different YouTube workshops and speaking to different YouTubers that it really starts with one subscriber. It really starts with one video, and it's going to get better. You just have to keep at it. You just have to keep at it, because there are millions of YouTubers, there are millions of vlogs. So you're in a market where you're competing against a lot of people, and you just have to keep going. It's going to eventually fall into place. Like maybe 3 weeks ago, I finally hit my first 1,000 subscribers, and I'm like, yay, we're at some place. And you gotta just be happy and enjoy the journey of creating content.
And I think that is something that people forget all the time. Like, they kind of get into this, like, I want to make money and I want to be famous and I want to be, Emma Chamberlain or whatever it is. And it's like, but there's still this element of like process and procedure and things that kind of fundamentally make all of your stuff success. And I love the whole, like, a start, middle, and end. Like, you have to tell people what to, like, give people a lead in to know what they're getting into, and then give them closure. If you don't have that ending, they're going to be mad at you. Like, if they choose to leave your story is different than like you not giving them an ending to that story. So like, it's very different scenario. What are some of the mistakes that you see vloggers make, or maybe that you've made yourself that you've had to correct that we can learn from?
There's some videos that we're just all over the place. Like, you don't know what's happening in the vlog. One moment I'm doing this, one moment I'm doing that. Like, there is no actual plot so somebody could follow. Like, a day in my life turns into me giving you 10 motivational quotes. Like, no, it just needs to be a day in my life. And I've learned from YouTube, like, this year when I joined YouTube, they were like, niche down, niche down, niche down. And I've learned that niching is important. People need to know that this is what you create. However, people need to be able to relate to you. So you need to create content that people can see that you're human. And I've also learned one of my biggest things is I have posting phobia on my Instagram. Like, I have not been posting as I should because I really want my grid to look a particular way. But I'm watching other creators and be like, sometimes we try too hard to look perfect. And we focus on things that we don't need to focus on. Like this year, my focus is on being consistent. I believe in quality. However, again, from being at different YouTube workshops, I've learned while quality is important, consistency is more important. Mm-hmm. And a lot of us, we overthink our YouTube journey. We think that we need to buy this expensive camera. We think that we need to do all of this, but sometimes you just need to start. You just need to start, and you're going to eventually get to that place where you have a fancy camera, where you have the fancy equipment. But a lot of us, we just got to start with our phones. Just get up and start with your phone and be consistent, because consistency is better than quality.
And I think that is fantastic advice that we all kind of need to sit back and take in for a minute. You need to start. If you haven't started, start. If you have that idea, maybe even if you're a seasoned creator and you've been on here for a minute, you have this idea, you're not sure, just create it. Like, just hit that button and make something and test it out and see how it goes. That could like literally change the trajectory of your video, change the trajectory of your income, change the trajectory of like your life. Like, if you don't make something, you will never know. It's sort of like, 80% done is better than 100% of nothing. You just got to do it. Hit publish. Don't overanalyze the editing. Stop obsessing about making it perfect. Just get it done. Like, almost like put it like a time limit, a deadline on yourself to make sure that you're getting this stuff done. That way you're not like just stuck in this analysis paralysis situation that happens to so many of us nowadays.
My favorite content creator, one of my favorite content creators is actually Sean Cannell from Think Media. And you will go back to his first few videos. The cameras weren't fancy. He wasn't doing all YouTube tips and tricks. And he will say to you, even I got one of his videos the other day, and he's like, you saw some of his older videos and the quality wasn't the best. The content wasn't the best, but he started. And that's his advice. Just start with what you have. And I currently record on my phone. I'm hoping to get to the place where, I have this nice fancy camera. But obviously, again, another big thing YouTubers need to learn is you don't make money at first. When we see those big YouTubers, they didn't make money at first. You have to start, and again, you have to enjoy the journey so that even if you're not making any money, you can still be committed to it.
Yeah, I love it. I love the don't have an ice cream. My first year, webcam in a window. This actually the exact webcam I use for these video podcasts. I started my YouTube channel with. You can get better, but you just have to start with what you have. Like, webcam on your camera, totally fine. Just make it happen, make it work. All right, we are women. We are the most problem solving, capable species on the planet. Okay, get it done.
Just start.
Exactly. Just start. So, do you think that there's room on YouTube for new creators?
I do. There are many things that still need to be shared, and also nobody's gonna be you, nobody's gonna be me, so nobody can share the story like how I can share it. There's room for every single body, because old people would say every shunku has their munku. You're going to find your people, because again, sometimes we think that our friends are our people, but our friends aren't really our people. We are going to find our people.
Yeah. I love the community that we have. Like, even the community that we've built with the women of YouTube, it's wonderful and so helpful. And I love that we all can get on there and answer questions and support each other through our problems and celebrate our victories. It's so fantastic. So, well, where can people follow you on YouTube and support and follow your journey?
So my YouTube channel is Joshuanette. So that's my first name, JOSHUANETTE''S, Joshuanette's World. It is the same on Instagram and on Facebook. So one big thing that's happening this year, I actually organized, as I'm a hiker and I'm looking for all 365 beaches on the beautiful island of Antigua and Bermuda. I organize cleanups. So last year we cleaned a beach. This year we're going to be cleaning a trail on the 15th of May. That's one of the things I'm doing to give back and spread awareness that while it is all fun to hike, we want to ensure we keep the environment clean. So on the 15th of May, we're actually going to be giving back. And that way, my friends and I, and anybody who wants to join us, will be cleaning a beach and cleaning a trail in Antigua and Bermuda. And it's something that we want to do every year, at least clean one beach, clean one trail, spread some awareness. And the video will be on my YouTube channel. There's some posts on my Instagram and on my Facebook page at this point.
I love it. All right. Well, we'll have the link to all of our information over on thewomenofyoutube.com. And thank you so much for joining us today. I am so grateful to have had you and sharing your journey with our audience. Remember, you and everyone listening are possibly amazing.
Thank you for listening to the Women of YouTube podcast. We would love to know what you thought about this latest episode. So make sure to tag us with #WomenOfYouTube with your thoughts.